Say Dyson. I'm from, as she just told you, an organization called Project Voice. And what we do, just to let you know, is we help students use their voice to change education as the way that they see fit that education should be. And I'm a trainer within this program, and I've been with them for close to 2.5 years.
And my name is Shelby. I'm a co-training director with Project Voice. I've been there since 2008, and I'm also a junior at Metro State University.
My name is Starnisha Bridges, and I am a trainee at Project Voice, and I've only been there for about 2 months for the summer pretty much. Yeah, so.
My name is Siobhan, and I am a trainee at Project Voice.
My name is Luis. I've been a trainer. It's my first year as a trainer in Project Voice, but I've been involved with Project Voice for almost 2 years, and then just in the school program for like 3 years.
And you go to?
I go to CEC North Carolina.
And I go to the South.
My name's Isaiah. I am a trainee, and I go to DC 21.
You're a big freshman.
Yeah, I'm not a big freshman.
Yay!
Oh, we go to NCAS, no community arts school, just let you guys know.
And there's 2 more people. One of them go to NCAS, and then the other one goes to CEC.
So they'll join us.
Yeah, they'll come back. I'm Dana Scott. I am the Deputy Director at Project Voice. And I started in April. Before that, I lived in Vermont, and I'm happy to see lots of Vermonters at this conference. And I was the director of an organization called Connecting Youth. So I've been in the positive youth development field for about 20 years.
She's amazing at
I started when I was 9. No, I'm just kidding.
Cool. So Project Voice, it's spelled V-O-Y-C-E, if you haven't saw that. It's for Voices of Youth Changing Education. And Project Voice was actually, it started in 2006 after the closure of Manual High School. And the reason why it started, there was 2 students who were graduates from Manual, and then 2 adults who were the co-founders. And they were participating in the redesign of Manual High School. And there's a whole group of students who had feedback and a lot of recommendations. But then when the final process went laid out in decisions, none of the students' recommendations were included, even though they were a part of all of those meetings. And so that's why they figured, we need an organization that's going to work to build more student voice in schools and to empower youth to use their voice and to feel that their voice is valued. So our mission, we recently has kind of changed to really creating new leaders who can change their lives, advocate for change within their lives, within their schools, their communities, and the world. So we have like a 3-part theory of change, which it starts with individual change, and that's where we do a lot of our leadership development. So we focus, it's a whole like leadership training where we hire and we actually pay the students to go through our 8-week summer leadership program to teach them a whole bunch of skills, but it starts with an individual. So we start with like public speaking, facilitation, really bringing out the leader in them. And then we move to school and community change, which is our 2nd theory of change. And that's where they will then go back in their schools and lead chapter teams. And the 3rd part is systems change. We've had a little less experience as of right now with as far as systems change, where we participated in helping a few bills pass, and have even some people, including Chauncey and myself, even testified at the Capitol. So then within our training, we do a lot. We have a huge focus on social justice, and we do a lot on like character traits, team building. So our vision, our goal is really because we hire emerging leaders, so students who are not the traditional honor roll leadership students. We hire like a mix of students, so often like myself, students who were disengaged at one point or who didn't really know how to express their needs in school, and we give them the tools that they need to go back to their schools and not only improve their experience in school, but to help others improve their experiences as well. So yeah, anybody else?
Yeah, just to add on top of that, what we consider as emerging is not someone who already has the tools, let's say, but someone who is coming out and is evolving, I would say, as a leader. I was one of the students at the school that I was in who was a more advanced student. I was third in line in my class, but they still wouldn't listen to any of the tools that we would tell them. So let's say our school manual, which is the first school that Project was started at, they recently just had a new program that was implemented last year where they would have us come year-round, 8 hours a day, and then they would take us on trips around the country based off of what we learned in our classes. Now, it sounds very good, but no student input was asked. The program fell enormously wrong. Ditching rates are higher than ever before now. And, you know, it's a result of no student voice within the classrooms. And like she said, we don't have a lot of experience on the systems change, but we recently just helped pass Bill 191, which I think Shelly can give you the
213.
huh?
They changed it to 213.
In
Well, those are
214.
two separate ones.
Yeah. I think, can you give them a more detailed description on 191?
Well, yeah, we can definitely get into it, but since this is supposed to be focused more on like the vision of Project Voice, if anybody has any specific questions in relation to that, you can go ahead and ask.
You can go.
No, it's just good. They're good.
And also, we'll have questions after
I
that
would
too.
love to know what your connection is to that bill. But
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we could go into that. So in 2010, when one of our students actually spoke at East High School when they announced what Senate Bill 191 was going to be, and since then we became close with the people in Mike Johnston's office. Actually, his chief of staff is one of my old teachers. So we got involved in that early on, and one of our students actually spoke at the last meeting when they were opening it up, and there was a swing vote. It was going to go either which way. And one of our students, Ramel Greer, who's actually in the LA Times after that, made one comment which Senator Beth McCann said is the reason why she changed her vote to support Senate Bill 191. So after it was passed, are people familiar?
how do you see? I want to hear your read on the 191.
Okay, so it's the teacher that I was actually appointed right after that to be the only student on Colorado's State Council for Educator Effectiveness. So during the whole process of creating the recommendations around the bill, I was the only student in all of those long meetings for 2 years. And so what it is the new teacher effectiveness bill. What it will do is change in 2014 the way Colorado evaluates their educators, so that's teachers and principals, and also change up like how the standards that we do that. So we had to create a definition for what it meant to be an effective principal and teacher, and then 2, create the scale on how teachers would be evaluated and principals, because in the past in Colorado teachers were only evaluated once every 3 years, and it was either effective or ineffective. So now this creates much more room. There's more different types of ratings that teachers can get, either approaching, effective, or teachers who are still don't have tenure. And what it will do is allow teachers to be and principals to be evaluated every single year, and there's multiple standards that have been created for them to assess them on. The biggest piece is that 50% of their evaluation will be from student growth. So that will look like value-added scores. It'll look at students like where they enter, and then when they leave, how much growth they've had, and what their test scores are. And so that will be 50% of the teacher's rating. The other 50% districts have freedom over kind of how to choose what they will tie into the rest of the ratings. So there's peer observations, principal observations, student perception surveys is one that we strongly encourage districts to use, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's huge. And another thing that really made the bill kind of controversial is the fact that if a teacher who has tenure is identified as ineffective more than once 2 years in a row, then they can then go up to lose their tenure. So that's something. And then there's an appeal process and everything. So teachers can figure out a way to improve it. But the whole goal is that it's not just giving teacher effective or ineffective, like you're bad or good. It's figuring out where you're at so they know what you need in order to become more effective.